What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Sports Report podcast, episode 8, in fact. It's already been 8 episodes. It's wild. As always, I am your host, Ian Pfaffenberger, staff writer for the North Texas Daily. And I am here today with two new guests with me today. On my direct left, we got Dante Longoria, another fellow staff writer for the Daily.
Hey, guys. Just like Ian said, NT Daily staff writer, sports journalism major here at UNT. So just a pleasure to be here, Eden, and thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. And then on the far right, we got Wilson, another staff writer over here today. Super excited to have him as well.
Hello. Big fan of the podcast. Thank you for having me so much. Here to have fun, talk sports. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's going to be a super exciting episode. You know, the UNT sports gods hate me because last week I was talking about, this is the best week of UNT fall sports ever. And then they follow it up with probably like one of the best weeks of all time. There is so much to talk about today. We got football. Everyone knows what happened there. Drew Mestemaker broke so many records, so many awards. Volleyball proved themselves as a top team in the American. They took down the former conference leader in Tulsa and the reigning conference champions in Wichita State. Women's soccer earned 4 points. They got a draw and a win, so they have a very crucial game coming up. Swim and dive got a win or a loss, but they had good performances. Women's golf happened, and then I wanted this to be a men's and women's basketball preview episode, so we're going to put that in as well because these two guys did 2 previews on in the paper that you guys should check out as well. So ton to talk about today. I'm super excited, guys. We'll just get right into it. We'll talk about football. Another blowout win for the team this year.
Man, Drew Mestemaker is insane.
My gosh, bro.
He's so good. 608 passing yards. It's crazy.
54-20 win. Yes, like you said, 608 passing yards. Kept that number 1 scoring offense in the country. Kept that title, and the numbers only went up where it was 45 before that game. Now it's like 46.1. Nuts offense going on.
It wasn't like they were like yak yards either. Like that first touchdown he threw to the corner, like that was like a 45-yard bomb.
I know. Yeah, to Cameron Dorner.
Yeah.
What was I doing? I was like driving back from somewhere. I think I was driving back from here. Yeah, because it was Friday. But then I got back and they showed the highlight. Like, holy crap! That great throw by Mestemaker, but another great catch by Cameron Dorner too. But yeah, let's get this accolade out of the way. Our spotlight athlete of the week, Will Jones. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, it's Drew Mestemaker. School program record and American Conference record with 608 passing yards, like Wilson just said. And that is 17th all-time in college football history. 4 passing touchdowns, second straight week of just pure dominance from Zesty Mesty. So many awards. I wrote them down in these notes here, and then they added like 10 more to his title. So I'm just going to read them off from Twitter here. Let's get him up. Let's see if it loads. All right, he got a shout out from John Gruden like 2 hours ago. He got a sticker from John Gruden's show of one of 4 quarterbacks that he highlighted for this last week. What else here? He got what is this? The Dave Campbell. Drew Mestemaker's been named the Campbell Award Player of the Week, so Dave Campbell Player of the Week. He got the Burlsworth Trust Walk On of the Week. Duh, I don't know how he doesn't win that every week for a walk on. He got the Earl Campbell Award Week 9 Player of the Week, the Davey O'Brien National Player of the Week. Yeah, you got that. And then he was the Sean Alexander Freshman Player of the Week. He was on the Davey O'Brien Grade 8 list. He was the Manning Award Star of the Week. He was the Associated Press National Player of the Week, and then he was the American Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Were you guys keeping track? How many was that?
Oh, God. I thought like we were not going to get a chance to talk for the rest of the podcast, honestly.
It was like 9 awards.
Outrageous.
Bro, watching that game, what was it? It was like halftime. I didn't even realize. He already had like close to 400 passing yards. I didn't even realize how fast. I think it was like 360 something, but like by halftime, I didn't realize how fast that it happened.
Jesus. Yeah, that's a lot. Like, against Charlotte, though, like, if you told me that was Drew's performance at halftime, I would have thought, oh, yeah, that's like 28-0, 35-0 at halftime. But really, it was pretty close, and I don't think it should have been.
Yeah. Yeah, first half was a little rough. What was it, like 17-17?
Yeah, it was tied 17.
Yeah. And as well as Mestemaker played, we were talking about this before he started recording. He did throw he threw a pick, and then he got a ball ripped away from him, kind of when UNT was close to scoring. I think at the end of the second half and at the beginning of the third half. So that was kind of kind of a little oops, a little ouchie there. But
But Drew's done so much good, he can make all the oops he wants.
I don't think it really mattered at that point. I mean, bro went on to throw 608 passing yards, absolutely nuts. And then he was aided by his receivers also. Three different receivers eclipsed 100 yards in this game. Ironically, the only other time in UNT football history that happened was against Navy in 2007. What do you know? UNT's going up against Navy this weekend. We'll get into that in a second. The score of that game was 74-62, by the way.
That was basketball, right?
Yeah, it was basketball, right? Nope, it was football. 74, and I don't think they went to overtime. I think that was just
Dang.
straight 4 quarters.
No defense. This defense decided not to
Straight
show
up
up.
not defense, kind of like the last couple years for UNT, but not the case this year. Yeah, it was like Navy scored like 35, and we scored 28 in just the second quarter. It's something like that. It was nuts. But highlight one of those receivers, Wyatt Young, has been playing out of his mind these last couple games. He's currently first in the he's second in the American in receiving yards and tied second for touchdowns. Over these last 3 games, he has the most receiving yards out of any receiver in college. I'm pretty sure I saw that. He also had that 70-yard yak touchdown run, like you were talking about. There were a couple yak touchdowns. It's basically just a dump off from Estemaker, and he just ran through all the defenders and outran him for that 70-yard touchdown. So that was nice. Overall, the receivers had 395 yards after the catch, which is a most in a game in college football this year. The only other team to get above 300 is Georgia Tech, and we're close to 400. So that tells you anything.
And in that Charlotte game, it was pivotal in that second quarter. We found ourselves down 17-7 about 5 minutes into that second quarter. Went on a nice little 10-0 run there to close the half, to tie it going into halftime. And that second half, this team just looked unstoppable. Charlotte kicks a field goal there, 8 minutes to go in the third, and then we rip off a 37-0 run to finish the game.
37. Poor Charlotte. I feel bad for them.
They're like 1-7 now after that.
Yeah, they're 1-7. Haven't won in conference yet.
Dang.
You wouldn't think it the way they were playing though. They were playing really intense, and I was kind of worried because if there's any game to call a trap game, it was this one. You have Navy next week. You're going away against the worst team in the conference. You don't think much of it. And they were coming out with their heads on fire. I mean, that first half they were amped up from the first kickoff to the end of the second half. They were hyped. They were jumping around, and UNT kind of looked a little out of it. And it was still tied 17-17. So I didn't really have any worries, but they're kind of on their game.
I'm a Steelers fan. I know all about trap games.
Y'all have finished above 500 like every season.
That's the problem. We've done that every year, but we have no playoff wins in 10 years either.
I'm a Cowboys fan, so I also feel that.
Same.
Yeah, the defense also had a good day. 4 team sacks. Ethan Day had 1.5. He currently leads the team in sacks with 4. He's been showing out this year. Transfer from Wyoming. He's been a great addition to that defensive line. Also, a few injuries, which probably also contributed to the close second half. Shane Witter was out this game. He's been a key piece in the middle of that defense at the linebacker spot. Gabe Blair, the senior left guard, who's been a UNT legend. Leading receiver Miles Coleman's been out the last 2 games now. And then Mackenzie McGill, who's kind of been splitting those carries with Caleb Hawkins, was also out this game. So that led to more touches for Kiefer Sibley. Also put up a nice little game there. But with the USF, actually we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, Dante, what do you think about what do you think about the defense overall?
Yeah, I think the defense looked fantastic there in the second half. Bit of a slow start. Clearly, those injuries played a factor as well. Those are some key guys that you love to have back there. Second half, I think Coach Morris, halftime adjustments, just looked a whole lot better than the second half on both sides of the ball.
In other American Conference news, I was about to get into that a little too soon. USF lost to Memphis, which just makes the race so much more complicated now, because now there's like 5 teams at 3-1, and then Navy and Tulane are both undefeated in conference. So there's like 6 teams that are all competing for the American Conference title right now. So this title race run is going to come down to the last week.
Mini playoff for the American Conference. Let's do it.
Not for real.
Let's do it.
Get us all in there. Make a different one. We got Navy coming up. I mean, you have Tulane, who's still undefeated in conference. They're kind of a sneaky team in there because UNT doesn't play them, and a lot of people are like, okay, Memphis lost, USF lost, you have to beat Navy, and then we're in a good spot. Also, Tulane is still undefeated. I mean, if they went out, their only really tough matchup on paper the rest of the season is Memphis, who they might lose to, but they're still undefeated. So who knows? If Tulane wins out, then they're undefeated in conference, and then they're going to get to that championship game just as well as anyone. So it's going to be really close then out this season.
Yeah. Man, I can't believe I didn't believe like UNT would get like this good. Like obviously after the past few seasons it wasn't that great, but then Drew came in, man. We look unstoppable. I cannot believe we're 7-1. I go to a college that is 7-1 football. I go to a football college.
UNT though, like I did not come here expecting anything out of sports. Especially, I knew our basketball was good because we had Ross Hodge, but for our football to be 7-1, and we're like making some massive headlines. We're everywhere. Drew Messamaker, excuse me, just won like 20 freaking thousand awards. It's special, and I don't think I'm ready for if everyone leaves next year.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Might be because after the Charlotte game, my voice is already going. I'm talking so much. After the Charlotte game, he immediately started trending on social media, and people are like, "How much money is he getting from the SEC? Where is he going next year?" I was like, "Nowhere, guys. He's gonna stay here. Please stay here."
I'm starting to get those things, those YouTube shorts and TikToks of just like Drew Mestamaker is the #1 recruited quarterback in the nation. He is gonna make $1 million at NIL money next year.
Yep. I know it's really sad, but that's all the more reason you have to cherish it while it's here. What was I saying? I'm definitely gonna have taken it for granted depending on what happens next year. But there is a chance we keep everyone. We're trying hard to extend that Morris contract. Jared Mosley's doing a great job raising a bunch of NIL money, so see how that goes.
Just incredible what Drew's doing. Just to touch on one more thing with him, he's second in the nation right now, yards passing. He trails Sawyer Robinson from Baylor by 45 yards, but just incredible what this kid's doing as a freshman.
Bro, second in the country. That's just amazing to think. And I don't think I think at this point we're desensitized to it.
Yeah, and he never started a game in high school either.
Exactly. Like that story is nuts. One of the best stories to come out of this decade, maybe this century in college football. And just being at UNT and being that good. I mean, credit to Eric Morris, obviously, the quarterback whisperer. I was thinking about this to myself in the press conference on Tuesday. I'm like, I'm sitting like 5 feet away from probably the best quarterback guru in the country, and like he might be gone next year. I don't think I'm taking advantage of what I have right in front of me. So not this next week, but the Tuesday after that, I'm like, I gotta like start getting these questions off because I have like the Eric Morris right in front of me. And I thought that to myself on Tuesday.
I mean, he has like a little bit of a resume, like Cam Ward, Baker Mayfield.
Just a little bit.
Patrick Mahomes.
Just a little bit of a resume.
You probably heard of him.
Maybe a little bit,
Just with how impressive this offense is, too. Still #1 in the nation with 46.1 points per game. Just absolutely absurd.
We're at the top of like everything else. We led in rushing touchdowns for a little bit. Our passing defense was like 17th in the country. Our running game, which really hasn't been a strong suit with Eric Morris, he's very much an air raid offense. Our running game has been just as much of a factor as our passing game has been this season. So one of the best the best season for UNT this century, like the second best all time, I guess up to this point in all the seasons that had happened, right? We'll see how it shakes out from here, but with all the hype and everything that's happened and all these headlines that we're making, it's been fun. I'm glad to be alive. What a time to be alive, to be a UNT fan, right?
Born perfectly at the right time.
And
exactly.
Before we touch on this Navy game, another player I have to give a shout out to is Caleb Hawkins. Over these last 5 games since the Army game, 479 yards rushing, 236 yards receiving, and he's accounted for 9 touchdowns. Just incredible what this freshman from Shawnee, Oklahoma has been able to produce for this team in the backfield.
He's been nuts. We were his only D1 offer.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He got 3 total offers. We were his only D1. So, obviously, going to come. He had a great relationship with our running back coach. Man, can we scout talent, though?
Yeah, for real.
I mean, he's come here. He's already a huge physical back for not getting that much. He's like 6'1", well over 200 pounds. He's a big guy.
He reminds me of like Najee Harris.
Yeah, for being a back. And you see it on the field. He runs through people, shakes tackles like crazy. One thing I will point out, Wilson, I don't know if you saw this during the game. It looked like he had some struggles in the pass blocking game, because there were a couple instances, a couple plays against Charlotte where it looked like he was missing a couple, and because Charlotte blitzed a lot. That's what Eric Morris is saying. They came out super aggressive. They sent a ton of blitzes, especially on 3rd downs, and when Caleb Hawkins was in there, it looked like he missed a couple of those.
I did, but I think also at the same time, like they were up so much, they were blitzing, like they were desperate. So they're going to try to give it all, and like a lot of the plays were like supposed to be downfield, so you have to give them a little bit more time. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily on Hawkins as much as it is. Like, not the play calling, but it doesn't help, I guess. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's not like it mattered in the end,
Yeah,
right? 54-20. But yeah, like Dante said, We'll get into this Navy game 'cause we've got a lot to talk about. We're moving really fast. I like it. This crucial matchup coming up against Navy. I mean, if you thought USF was a big matchup, this is just as big. Especially at this point in the season, it comes later, and how this American Conference has shaped out. I mean, every game up to this point is just insanely important. This Navy one especially because they sit atop the conference, right? I mean, you can't afford to lose a game now if you're UNT. If you lose one and you have 2 conference losses, you can basically kiss those playoff hopes goodbye, and probably the championship game.
I thought if you're USF, we were already done, but now we might actually have another chance to get in, and that's crazy to me.
I know. I after that USF game, it hurt, but our chances were still alive. I like obviously. I mean, there still are. They were still alive a little bit. But yeah, once just in college football in general, if you have 2 conference losses, it's basically over. But it helps that USFD get that other number 1 loss because now there's a ton of tied teams. But just to win every single game out now, and this is going to be the toughest one UNT plays to end the season most likely. Navy comes in with the best rushing offense in the nation, 318 yards per game. They're a triple option team. So kind of like Army a little, not necessarily like Army in the fact they want to get 3 yards a play and run out the clock all the time. But they can run that triple option. They also do have a passing game. They basically, who said it? I think Ethan Weslowski, we interviewed him on Tuesday. He said they basically have two different kind of offenses. Their quarterback, Blake Horvath, leads the American in scoring right now. I think he leads in rushing touchdowns too. So
12 touchdowns, yeah.
Yeah, they run a triple option style offense, and then they can just run a regular straight up explosive play offense. But for this UNT rushing defense especially, it's going to be important for them to lock in. They've had their struggles the last few games. Against UTSA, kind of let Robert Henry run all over them. I mean, who doesn't? Robert Henry is like one of the best rushers in the nation. But obviously they had that, and then the USF game let up a lot of rushing yards. So hopefully they can get Shane Witter back there in the middle. And it's just going to be really important for them to shore up and limit what Navy can do because you're not going to stop them. I mean, 318 rushing yards per game, that's what they do, right?
Yeah, Blake is like double every other stat for every other player. He has like 800 rushing yards, next up is 400, 12 touchdowns, next up is 6 touchdowns.
They basically took the place of what Army was last year. However, we were kind of discussing this. They sit at 7-0, but I don't know how much that reflects the 7-0 good, right? I mean, you put them up there with like the Texas A&M. They're listed with the Texas A&Ms and the Ohio States and the Indianas, right? But you look at their schedule. Who have they played? Let's look. All right, they have VMI. Who even is that? Week 1, some FCS school probably. Beat 52-7. It's gonna happen. Then they played UAB. Then they played Tulsa. Then they played Rice. They only beat Rice by 8 points. Need I remind you, Rice lost to UTSA 61-13, and then we beat UTSA 55-17. Then they played Air Force, only won by 3. Played Temple, almost lost that game. They won on a last-second drive, won 32-31. Then they just beat Florida Atlantic by 42-32 by 10 points. But looking at all these opponents, they have not played anyone of our caliber. Yeah, I'm just going to say they haven't played anyone of UNT's caliber up to this point. And especially at a point in the season where injuries start to pile up, you have that soft tissue issues kind of rolling around. If you go up against a super physical team like North Texas is, and they're gonna be faster, they're gonna have the better schemes, the better players. It might take a toll on, especially that Navy defense, just trying to keep up, right? Because they're not conditioned to play against such an explosive and physical team. I think like you.
If I was Navy, I would not practice in pads this week. I would try to rest up as much as I could.
All right.
Absolutely. Yes, I had made that note that the only team that they played over 500 this season is Temple, who sits at 5-3. The caliber of opponents they have faced is just simply doesn't stack up like they're going to see on Saturday here at DATCU. And they've squeaked by some games. They beat Air Force by 3. They beat Rice by 8. Very, very late score against Temple there to secure that win. And then in their previous game last weekend, they beat FAU in a pretty tight game. Ended up being a 10-point game as well. So should be an interesting game for us. I like the fact we've played Army already this season. We've seen a very similar style in obviously a run-heavy offense. I like that we've already seen similar schemes, and we're able to tough that one out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, I was kind of dogging on the Navy right there. They're not bad by any stretch of the means, or else they wouldn't be 3-0, obviously. But it looks intimidating. It's not as intimidating as you might think. UNT very much has a chance to win this game. I think it was like 77% on ESPN the last time I saw.
What are the odds on Call Sheet? For no reason whatsoever.
We're not an ad for Call Sheet, bro. Come on now. Playing at home. Nice, cool, crisp early morning game. I'm going to be there. It's going to be nice. And
Yeah,
cold.
same.
Going to be in Marlboro. That's going to be a fun time. Dante, will you be there?
I hope to be. Yes.
You hope to be?
I hope to be. Work calls very often on Saturdays. But
That's
certainly
fair.
hope to be.
Well, me and Wilson will be there. Hopefully Dante will be able to join us. It'll be a good time. Crucial game at 11 a.m. Man, why didn't College Game Day come here?
That's a good question. Like we were joking about it like a few weeks ago. Me and a few friends that went to the game, and now like it probably should be a thing.
They should have. I don't know why they didn't. I mean, it's the only game this week that features 2 7-win teams.
Yeah.
And it's a crucial matchup for a conference, for the best group of 5 conference this
And
year.
like actual like playoff implications
Yes,
too, not just like
huge.
conference implications.
Huge playoff implications. Whoever loses this game, I mean, Navy goes on to play. Dante was saying it before. They're probably going to lose 4 out of their next 5 games, just based on the odds. They play us, and then they play Notre Dame, and then they play South Florida, and then they play Memphis. Yikes, bro. And then they play Army after that, the classic Army versus Navy game. But they saved all of their tough opponents for these last 4 weeks, and it might come back to bite them. They might finish with 4 losses and 3 conference losses. But if they were to win this game, that would keep them well in the race and would knock UNT out. So this is a huge game for UNT. Every game from this point on is huge. But this one in particular is because Navy's a big name team, UT's a big name. It'll be entertaining. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. And I think on Navy's side, obviously they're coming to this game 5-0 in conference, a lot to play for, a playoff spot, very much on the line for them. Should they prevail, I could see them being a ranked team next week.
Oh, yeah.
As with us, should we run the table, win out, be in the American Conference title game, I could very much see us having a compelling case to be ranked as well. We ran the table.
Rank us, bro. They better rank us if we win this game. Yeah, Navy had I think they had 89 votes in the AP poll, and that was the highest of the non-ranked teams. So they're basically 26 right now. Yeah, if we win this, we'd be 8-1. They have to rank us at that point. I mean, come on, man.
Well,
Come
what's
on.
Memphis at? Memphis is at 24, right?
25.
Yeah, and they just beat USF. So would we really have a case? That much of a case though, because we just lost to USF, who lost to Memphis.
I guess that's fair. I guess you're right. They won't rank us. We had 4 votes. I just wish we get ranked, right? Because
yeah,
at
everybody
this
does.
point, I don't think we will. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, even if you beat Navy, then you don't play as many, high net ranking games. So I don't know if UNT finishes the season ranked anyway. Which kind of sucks. I want to see the number by the name, man.
Yeah. So, if it did come down to it, who would y'all want to play in the American Conference Championship?
Personally, I would love another crack at USF.
I would too.
That would be a fun
I
game.
think a Memphis game would be fun, but I would love a revenge game against USF.
The American Conference has to rig it. It has for the storylines, bro. Come on, USF versus UNT. That'd be the storyline of the century. Us versus Memphis would be a good matchup too. That game last year was an absolute shootout at Memphis's place. So either one of those, obviously UNT to be in it, definitely. But yeah,
And just throwing it out there, a sneaky team that's in this mix, still unbeaten in conference, is Tulane. Tulane still has some tough opponents ahead as well, but they're kind of that team that gets a little bit lost in the shuffle of the USF, Navy, UNTs of the world.
exactly. The chances to win the American is all basically 20-20-20 right now. And there's no clear front runner. It's going to come down to the last minute of the last game to see where everything shakes out. So these last 5 weeks, because we have a bye week next week, I didn't even know that. But these last 5 weeks are going to be super entertaining to watch, super nerve wracking. That last week, especially if we're still in it, I'm gonna be on edge the entire week. I'm gonna be a mess. Anyway, though, that is football. Exciting game for Navy. Come up, show out, sell out. Dat Q2. We'll go through this quote of the week real quick because we got to move on. But this is from the Mean Green Radio Network. Hank Dickinson was interviewing Coach Moore's post-game Charlotte, and then he told Hank. Actually, he was quoting Doug Waters, who was the SID, and he said, "Hey, Coach, I don't know if you know this, but Drew is 14 yards away from the record." Doug told Coach Morris that in the middle of the Charlotte game, because I was watching it, and I was like, do they know? Because they put it on the screen. He's like, oh, he's 5th all time now because he had 470 yards or something like that. And I was like, do they know that he's – because we were already beating them really badly at that point. I was like, they're going to take him out. It's the 4th quarter. And, I really hope they don't do that. But Doug Waters, the SID MVP of this game, because he told Coach Morris that Drew was close. He was 14 yards away from breaking the record, kept him in, and Drew was able to do it. So.
And then as soon as he got it, the coach was like, get out.
They
Get
were
out.
Mr. Maker said he was like, if you run or get hit, I will hurt you more. One of the coaches told him that. So super funny stuff. Shout out, Doug. Great job for getting that record for Drew Estemaker there. All right, moving into volleyball. They went 2-0 over their last slate of games. They extended their win streak to 6. volleyball has just been on a tear recently. They got a massive win over the former first place team Tulsa on their home court. Tulsa, previously, they had not lost a set at home this year before UNT beat them in 4 sets at home. Absolutely just a wild win there for the North Texas team. They held Tulsa to their lowest hitting mark of the season at .128. It was just more of kind of what you've come to expect from this volleyball team. You had Reagan Bedell and Lily Croshaw. They led in kills. Loredana Fungi led in blocks. Alexa Washington made her presence felt all over the court. Obviously, she has those triple doubles this year. Excuse me.
Back to back, right?
Yes, back-to-back ones. That was just a great win. That happened on that Friday too, on that Charlotte day. That was I tweeted it or I X'd it out, posted it out. It's not tweeted anymore. To my 20 followers, I was like, "Hey, this is like one of the best days for UNT sports, at least this fall and in the last few years too. It was a great Friday for UNT sports. They followed.
Imagine if we make the March Madness.
Oh man, this would be such a good. This would be a great year. What a time to be here, right? I'm a sophomore. It's a great year. They followed that win against Tulsa up with another win against Wichita State on that Sunday. They got out to a very strong 2-0 lead, had all the momentum. Then Wichita State kind of started to turn it back around, tied it back up at 2-2. Going into that fifth set, they even fell behind 5-0. UNT did, so it looked like they were about to get first swept. But then they came back, scored 7 out of the next 8 points, and then were able to put it away. So another win against a top conference opponent. And UNT volleyball now sits at 17-5 overall, and then 7-3 in conference, which is Dante. That's fourth, right?
It's fourth, tied for fourth.
Yeah, 17-5 for a team that was projected to finish second to last in the conference to start the season. That's just great. We just continue to say it on this podcast, but it's been fantastic.
We're not used to it, so we gotta have to we have to cherish it as much as we can.
And as of recent, they're on a 6-game heater right now too.
Yep.
They've looked really, really good lately.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, with all the hustle and bustle about football, right? I mean, obviously, it's super entertaining to watch football be this good. I mean, you have all these other sports, or I guess volleyball has been having a great season as well. I mean, at the beginning of the year, just like let's just finish above 500, but now it's like you have 7 regular season games left. They play Abilene Christian today in like an hour from when we're recording. And then they only have 6 conference games left. So now they basically start to think about fighting for seeding in the playoffs, like in the tournament, rather than just getting above 500. It's been that good of a season for this team.
It really has. And looking ahead to their next few matchups, as you mentioned here in about an hour from when we're recording, Abilene Christian here at home. They're looking at Memphis, hosting Memphis on Friday. They're going to hit the road to go to San Antonio, face UTSA on Sunday. I see 3 very winnable games coming up over the course of the next 4 days or so. Memphis currently sits 1-9 in conference. UTSA currently sits 4-6 in conference. And Abilene Christian is just not in this hemisphere of.
Yeah, they're not in the American. Just kind of a little out of conference exhibition there. Still counts for the record.
So I can very well see a path to this team being 20-5 by week's end, heading into a pivotal matchup against Rice on the road.
20-5 would be crazy.
Rice has won 9 in a row. Like they've lost the first conference game, and then after that, they have not lost one.
Yeah, they take on Rice right after that slave 3 games. So that Rice, I think they were projected to finish first to start the season. They were the regular season winners last year, so a really tough team there. Following these Tulsa and Wichita State wins, however, the team jumped up 21 spots in the NCAA RPI rankings to spot 83. Can y'all explain me this though? Wichita State is still ahead of us at 79. And did we not just beat them?
We did, in fact, just beat them.
We did, yeah. Thank you for confirming that with me, Wilson. So why are we ranked 4 spots behind them? That's a little confusing to me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how these volleyball rankings work, but I think we deserve to be maybe I guess a little bit higher than Wichita State, right? FAU is also ranked ahead of us, which we're I think ranked ahead of them in conference, which is a little strange. Obviously, Tulsa, Rice are both ranked ahead. Rice is like 24, 23 something. They're like nationally ranked.
Yeah.
Let me look here. They're 39, so but they're up there. They're the highest ranked team in the American.
39th nationally ranked.
39th nationally ranked. So really good. Yeah, really good team in Rice. But just a good weekend for UNT. And they finally proved they're good in the American. They are a top team in the American. They took out 2 great teams in the American. Jumped up 21 spots. So it's been an exciting season there too. It's been fun to keep up with football and volleyball here on this podcast. The team overall still ranks atop the American in a lot of stats. They're first in points. They're second in blocks. They're 16th nationally in opponent hitting percentage allowed at 162. So defense has been fantastic with those blocks and the opponent hitting percentage, and then those first in points in conference. It shows the all-around effort team's been giving this year as well. But it'll be a fun slate of 3 games. Hopefully they can go 3-0.
Will be fun. And then just shout out to some of the key contributors of this team. Just looking at stats, but Reagan Bedell, Lily Croshaw, Janiah Jackson, just to name a few. Just outstanding seasons thus far from those 3 in particular.
Yeah.
And shout out Sydney Soria, who just had a season high 32 assists against Wichita State. Freshman, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had to come in against Wichita State because Alexa Washington actually went out with that injury, the triple-double getter. She had a little lower leg injury. I'm speaking too fast.
Lower leg injury.
Lower leg injury in the 4th set. She was kind of limping out there. She went out to do the handshake so she could walk, but she was limping on it a little bit. So Sydney Soria had to step up. She got 10 assists in that 5th set alone en route to her career high in assists, and then aided UNC to that victory. So this team is super young. We've talked about that. Most of the starters are all sophomores. Alexa Washington's the only starting senior, and then Fungi's a junior. But once Washington graduates, Soria's kind of being bred to be that next up setter, and I mean she's already kind of proving herself.
Yeah, if not her, we have Dakota Johnson, who's also a freshman.
Dakota Mitchell.
Dakota Mitchell, yeah. She's a freshman and she's insane.
Libero back there. I think she started like every set.
Yeah, she is.
Right? Yeah. I think she's like top 10 in the conference in digs, something like that. So she's great on that back line there. We have like 3 freshmen who've all been great, and then sophomores who are taking over the team. Dave Fleming has put on a coaching masterclass over there for that team. So, but a great season to watch for them. Only 6 conference games left, so it'll be a fun race to the end. We'll see how they'll make the tournament at this point. I hope. I don't see how they don't. I think it's probably impossible at this point. But we'll see how that shakes out. We'll see how where the seeding lies, where they lie in the tournament, and then we'll update you guys whenever that happens. We'll update you through this volleyball season. Moving on to soccer now. They earned a point in a 1-1 draw against USF on, was it Thursday or Friday? One of those 2 days. And then they earned 3 points in a 1-0 win against FAU. UNT's defense was very key across both games, particularly behind the play of their senior defenseman, Abby Major, and Rachel Roebuck. They actually got outshot against FAU, which I don't know if you guys know, but this team, they're like UNT. They lead the American in shots taken, and they're super high ranked nationally. I don't know the number specifically, but in shots taken, and that's just kind of been a problem for the team this year. They take a bunch of shots, but the goals don't go down, and that's why the record has been the way it looks right now. But they're able to get those 4 points. Hicks Bishop started again over Alina Arnett. Started both games. Alina Arnett's in an injury right now. She's been the starting goalie for most of this season. Earned 2 conference honorable mentions. Hicks Bishop did, and then senior defender Peyton Renfro did. Renfro scored the tying goal against USF to make it that draw. All this to say, they got those 4 points. Now they play their final game tomorrow against UAB. Who's covering that? Is it Rolando?
I would guess so.
I think it is Rolando. Yeah. So this is is it win or die? Do or die.
Yeah.
This is a do or die game for this team. If they want to I think they can make the tournament with a win.
But that has to be a win. It can't be a draw.
Yeah, it can't be a draw. They have to get those 3 points because then they'd be tied. They play UAB, then they'd be tied with UAB for points. Then they'd have the head-to-head. So I'm pretty sure that's how that would work. But for the season that they've had, I'm sure y'all kind of know about the women's soccer season. It's been a rough one. But for the season they've had, to still be in a position to put themselves in the tournament in the last game of the season is great.
It is. I don't think you can ask for much more, considering the season they've had. I believe they've rebounded nicely here down the stretch. Before the victory against FAU on Sunday, they had a 1-0 victory. They had tied 3 straight games. They kind of got back on course here down the stretch that it mattered most, and now you have a home game where a win puts you in the conference tournament.
Uh-huh.
I think the path it's in your possession. Don't think you could ask for more after such a tough start and really just a tough season as a whole. To have a do or die game at home to decide your fate.
Yeah. There's a ton of storylines going around this game, too. They have a ton of pregame stuff. It's senior night. It's an alumni game. They have a trunk or treat game. Also, could be John Hedlund's final game, depending on what he decides to do after this season. I think his contract is up at the end of this season. He's been around for 30 years. So if they were to tie or lose this game, you could see the departure of John Hedlund. That'd be a big loss to the UNT coaching staff. It's been around forever. It's been a UNT legend, but a lot of stuff going on for this UAB game. So we're getting to that point in these seasons. These last 4 games for football, last 6 games for volleyball, last game for soccer. It's crunch time.
I swear it just started too.
I know. Oh my, yeah. I was thinking the other day, like it's already almost November. It's probably gonna be November when y'all are watching this. It's already almost November. Like this semester went by so fast. I
Yeah,
feel like.
I could look at the NFL season, like already week 9, my fantasy league, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I have 8 total? Oh my gosh, there's been 8 weeks going? Oh my gosh.
I got Tyron Tracy in one of my leagues.
Oh, that was a good pickup.
I know, good waiver wire pickup there.
Y'all use Fab?
I use ESPN and then Sleeper.
Oh, okay. I'm in a dynasty league, so I traded Tyrone Tracy last year for Justin Jefferson, and then Justin Jefferson.
How did you do that?
It was more than that, but
Okay. I was
I got
like, what?
I got Justin Jefferson, but I overpaid a lot. But thankfully, my friend was also in the league, is also a huge Vikings fan, and so he gave me Jonathan Taylor for Justin Jefferson, and that has worked out swimmingly for me.
That's a nice pickup right there.
It's worked out swimmingly.
You play fantasy football, Dante?
I do. Unfortunately, I've been off grid the last couple seasons, but love fantasy football. Plan to get back to that next year. But just to circle back to touch on,
Yeah, thanks for getting us
it
back on
went
track.
by. This season has just absolutely flown by. I remember seriously like it was yesterday playing Incarnate Word at home.
You mean Lamar? The FCS team?
Yes,
Lamar, yeah.
I'm actually sorry. I'm back on soccer. I'm talking about
Oh
soccer.
my gosh. I'm sorry.
But
I
yeah,
thought we were
just,
talking about
no, just with the soccer season, I remember playing Incarnate Word right around first week of school, this semester getting going. The fact 2.5 months have gone by, we've played a full schedule. We're 19 games deep, got to play season finale. Just absolutely nuts with how quick this soccer year has gone by.
Yeah, just all these sports. It's so sad. No, football's in this last 4. Like college football, it goes way too fast. Yeah, and volleyball's almost done. I have a what am I trying to say? Soft spot for all these fall sports. They're very fun. It's a good way to kick off the year. It's getting cold. It's cold outside. It's so windy.
It's finally
It's
like
so
50
windy here.
degrees.
It feels so nice, but my hair hates it because so does Dante. So why is he wearing the hat right now?
Exactly.
You
Blowing
can
out.
imagine mine.
All of us is just bad. This wind is bad for us. Hey, but it'll feel nice on Saturday with those games. These fall sports have been fun. A couple other sports to talk about as well. We got swim and dive and women's golf. I'm just kind of gonna go through these real fast. Shout out Carson Kelly's article. He did a coverage of swim and dive's recent meet against Tulane. They took a loss to them at the Pole Rec Center on Saturday. Diving had a great day, however. The big 3 of Sydney Gadara, Cameron Wong, Amelia Sharp performed outstanding. They all got podium finishes. Sydney Gadara got first in the 1 meter and 3 meter springboards. Cameron Wong finished second in the 1 meter and 3 meter, and then Amelia Sharp got third in the 1 meter and fourth in the third. So, some like 3 of the best divers in the American right there, all showing why they are. And then the young swimming squad took home 2 first-place finishes as well. Sophomore Jet Schindler won the 200-meter butterfly, and then freshman Maria Jose Sanchez Castro won the 200-meter breaststroke. So a couple good wins there. Thanks, Dante. A couple good wins there for swimming as well. And then women's golf, they wrapped up their final tournament of the fall on Tuesday. So men's and women's golf both done now. Took on a bunch of teams at the Bear Brawl down in Waco. Senior Mason Lewis put on her best performance of the fall. She finished 3rd in the individual rankings. She also had the best round of her career in the final round of the tournament. She shot a 66, which was 4 under par, I believe. She finished 2 under par for the entire tournament, and the team overall finished 3rd, which was just behind the number 4 ranked nationally Texas A&M women's team, and then number 15 ranked Baylor. So they beat everyone else and were only behind 2 top 15 ranked teams. So a great performance there from women's golf. And Dante, you were are you working on that Malzone Chatabania story?
I did, yes. Finished that. That was an absolute pleasure to write that piece.
Yeah.
Yes. Malzone broke a program record just over a week ago down in San Marcos. It was at the Jim West Challenge. Malzone, don't want to butcher last name,
Chantapanya.
Chantapanya. Thank you, Ian. She shot a program record 64 in the final round of that tournament. She started the day in the final round. She started in 10th on the leaderboard. She shot all the way up to 2nd. She needed a birdie on 18 to break the record, and she got it. She hit a beautiful tee shot, 2-putted, and got a birdie on 18 to shoot a 64. Previous school record was a 65, set in 2020. So incredible. Shout out to Malzone.
Yeah, check out Dante's article when it comes out as well. It'll be a great story. All right, what's the timing on this? 39, 40 minutes. What did I say? 30 to 40 minutes talking about all those. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting to the basketball previews. Yes, the fall sports are wrapping up, but it's winter sport time. It is basketball time, baby. And we're here to talk about the women's basketball preview by Wilson. And then we're going to have the men's basketball preview by Dante. I'm going to kind of stop talking. It's good timing, too, because I need some water. So we're going to let Wilson kind of take over the women's preview and then Dante do the men's because I don't know anything about it. Probably a lot like you guys. I don't know anything about these teams, really. They had Nightmare on Elm Street, where they kind of previewed a little bit. Check out Haley Stum's article on that. But overall, really new teams. So yeah, I'll let Wilson take over this women's preview. Wilson, kind of what are we hoping to expect from this team this year?
So when Ian says really new teams, he means really, really new teams. So Justin, my editor, he told me I had this prediction for the women's basketball team. I'm like, how am I supposed to do that when turns out there's only 3 people from last year's team that are returning at all and no starters? How am I supposed to do this? And I ended up just telling the truth. I don't know how it's going to go. Like, nobody does. Let's be real. But the people that are returning, Chania Price, she appeared in every game last season, averaging 9 points per game. Like, not heavy minutes, but she did get involved. There was one game where she had like 31, I think. That was Jalen Telly, actually. She made 3 starts after transferring from Stetson over the past 2 years. Stetson, she was averaging 11 minutes her freshman year, then kind of took a step back with 8.8 the next year. And also Adel Tak, who I think is very interesting. She transferred from UTEP in May of 2024, but she missed the entire last season because she had an injury in January of 2024. Really bad knee injury. Before that, she averaged like 9 points and 5 rebounds. So she's a returning player, but she's not even made her UNT debut yet. I think that's really, really interesting because it's also kind of a new face if you kind of want to think about it that way. Tiana Lidge, from Southern U. She started all 35 games last year, 7.1 points, 4.7 rebounds, 35 blocks, and she had a double-double in the SWAC championship. So she brings like NCAA tournament experience and leadership. She knows how to win, which was Coach Burton's like main thing. He wanted to bring in players that knew how to win. Whenever like there was one quote that he said, whenever asked like how do you know like you're gonna still be at a top level at this season? He said, "Man, that's what we do. That's what we do."
I love Coach Burton, bro. He's so funny. That's what we do.
Aisha Proctor from UTSA, also she was from the American Conference, champions last year. She came off the bench, 4.5 points, 1.9 rebounds, but she also knows how to win, which is Coach Burton's thing. She is going to bring a lot of leadership. Obviously, we don't know who the starters are, but if I had to guess, she would be one. Jazzy Owens-Barnett from Rice. She started 12 games last year for an Achilles injury, 5 points per game, 2 assists. But she also helped Rice win a conference title in 2024. So I don't know how the season's going to go. If I had to guess, I don't know if it's going to be like record breaking like last season. Last season we had like 25 wins, most in program history. If I had to guess, it'd be like 21, 22 wins, still fighting for like a tournament spot. But at the end of the day, we do not know. So that's how I'm going to say my guess.
Yeah, most of these teams kind of they pulled the UNT move of you lose your entire team and then you get a bunch of people from like JUCO or the D2 level who will perform really well. That's kind of what both teams did. Kind of speaking for both of y'all here, but yeah, I mean, Coach Burton has been a great coach so far. Obviously, like Wilson said, 25 wins last year, which was a program record, and obviously you had some great players. You had Tamisha Lampkin. Were you here last year, Wilson?
No, I was, but I didn't really go to any games. Yeah, Tamisha Lampkin, she just signed with the Turkish team over the summer.
Yeah, she's playing internationally. She's like the best women's basketball player in UNT program history. Also had Kyla Deck, Ariana Hardaway.
Kyla Deck. That game against SMU is going to be very interesting.
Why did she transfer there, man? That's so sad. Desiree Wooten, she was I think a second team conference selection last year. She's in Colorado now. So you just lost a bunch of players. But yeah, like you were saying, brought in a bunch of new people, and we'll see how it goes. First game's on Monday, same as men. It's going to be a doubleheader. The women play at 5:30 and the men play at 7, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun doubleheader there in the Super Pit. We'll get our first look at this team. But then, going into the men's team, we'll let Dante cover that. Dante, what are we looking at for the men's team here?
Yeah, and the men's team's much of the same as the women's. Really, even more turnover, though. The entire roster.
Oh, God.
Not just, I think you mentioned maybe 3 players returning.
Yeah, 3
Yeah,
technically.
like 3. For the men's, really 0. It's a brand new team.
Really 0 or 0?
0.
Oh,
For
okay.
that, it literally is 0. Like no one is returning. It's
Nobody's
crazy.
returning. From the coaching staff, from Coach Daniel Robinson, who now joins us from Cleveland State, his staff to all 12 on the roster. Brand new team. I wanted to first kind of touch on our roster as a whole, introduce the names and faces that you're going to be seeing all season long with Mean Green basketball. First, wanted to touch on our transfers from Cleveland State that have followed Coach Daniel Robinson from that program. Dylan Arnett is a 6'9" forward who averaged over 11 a game and 7 boards last year. Fun fact about him, I got to touch on in my piece previewing the season. He's worked with Daniel Robinson since he was 17 and has gone on the record saying he knows his role and what's expected of him as an everyday guy. So I expect that we'll be seeing big things from him this season. We also got Deshaun Stevenson, a guard who averaged 10 a game as a freshman last season and shot over 84% from the line. Stevenson was named Horizon League's Freshman of the Year, so he already has that on his resume. And of course, we have Reese Robinson, son of head coach Daniel Robinson, who was a freshman last year, only saw an average of around 16 minutes on the floor and averaged around 5 and 5. But I would expect his role in the team to continue to grow this season. And lastly, Cole Franklin, who, like Reese, didn't see a whole lot of playing time last year, but is a solid guard coming off the bench with the second unit. And that pretty much sums up the Cleveland State players that Coach Robinson brings with him in Arnett, Stevenson, Robinson, and Franklin. Taking a look at our other 8 players on the roster, who also are all transfers or freshmen. First, looking at Will McClendon. He's a senior guard that played 2 seasons at UCLA. Last year, he played for San Jose State, where he averaged 12 a game, 3 boards, 3 assists. I would expect him to be a very integral part of this offense.
Kind of like an Atten Wright that we had last year.
Exactly, very Atten energy. We have Kami Crosby, junior from Kilgore College. It's a small little JUCO about just a little east of Tyler. He had a good season last year. He was averaging 16 a game, averaging over 4 boards and 3 assists. Can't wait to see how his game transfers to the D1 level. We have David Terrell Jr. He is a junior from UTEP. He's a former Conference USA Freshman of the Year in 24. Josiah Shackelford, he's a 6'9" forward from Georgia Southwestern, who also had quite a monster season last year, averaging over 17 and 7 a game. We have Buddy Hammer Jr., like that name. He's a 6'7" forward from JUCO school, Oklahoma A&M, who averaged a double-double last year with 12 and 10. We also have Demarion Watson from Iowa State. And then we have 2 freshmen joining the roster. We have E.J. Horton from Chicago and Curtis Stinson Jr., who last finished up, graduated in Ohio. He's a former 2024 Iowa Gatorade Player of the Year in high school. So yeah, that pretty much sums up our roster. It's kind of a nice blend of Cleveland State players, and then you have a mix of JUCO players, you have some freshmen, and plenty of upperclassmen across the board as well. So really, really looking forward to seeing here. From time we're recording, our exhibition against Louisiana tips off in about 2 hours. That'll be our first look at this team on the floor. So really looking forward to that. Just a few little tidbits about this team is they first gathered as a roster on May 28th. We sit here today recording on October 29th. So it's been about 5 months that this team has been together as a collective whole. Head coach Daniel Robinson said that his system emphasizes fundamentals, accountability, and team-first principles. His program focuses on rebounding, ball security, and consistent defense while nurturing leadership and growth among the team. Heading into this year, the Mean Green were picked 7th in the American Conference Coaches Poll ahead of this week's in Alabama. And so 7th is kind of mid-pack. I think this team is hungry. I think that's just more fuel to the fire for them to come out early on before we even get into conference games beginning New Year's Eve. I think that's going to set a fire into them to prove some people wrong, that they're underestimating the talent and the potential of this team. And yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
primarily have.
that was good. Thanks, Dad. That was a lot of information. Okay, well, hopefully y'all know a little bit more about those teams now. Thank you for those lovely explanations, Wilson and Dante. Another tidbit about the men's team. A couple days ago, they got a commitment from a 4-star recruit in TJ Crumble. Whoa, that came out of nowhere. Apparently not apparently, he did. He lived close to Cleveland State, and he was heavily recruited by Coach Daniel Robinson while he was still at Cleveland State. So on Robinson's life, got turned upside down, came to UNT. He was still pitching to TJ to still come here. Couple tidbits about TJ. He comes from Long Island Lutheran High School, which is the same high school that VJ Edgecombe has come from, who is on a tear right now in the NBA. Has averaging like 30 points a game for the 76ers. He was the 3rd-round pick in this last year's draft. So they come from the same high school, come from the same cloth there. He also had offers from schools like Texas A&M and Stanford, and he chose us. That's what makes it crazy. Like it's not that we got the 4-star, but he chose us over some other big schools. Money talks, baby. And then I think I heard this from somewhere. He's our 2nd highest ever recruit, kind of coming out of high school out of 247. So not even the season ain't even started yet. Exhibitions haven't even started yet, and Robinson's already creating his dynasty. So I like this guy. I like this Daniel Robinson guy. But yeah, Dante, you're gonna head out to that exhibition here in like 2 hours, right? Yeah.
I am, yeah. I'm covering that one. I hope that there's opportunities to talk to Coach Robinson and a couple players after the game. Just very much looking forward to seeing this team on the floor together. A nice little tune-up here before the season kicks off Monday against New Mexico Highlands here at home.
Yeah. A lot of roster turnover, a lot of question marks surrounding both of these teams. But if there's anything we know about Coach Burton and then the coaching hires that Jared Mosley makes, is that they don't miss. He makes good coaching hires. So I expect some good things from these teams. Like Dante was saying, he put it really well. They're hungry. That 7th coaches poll record probably adds more fuel to the fire. So it'll be fun to watch them this season as basketball season is officially about to get underway. Super exciting stuff there. It's going to be a lot to talk about on this podcast when basketball was rolling because, man, there's like 4 games every week. Nuts. Hey, but it'll be fun. Well,
and just a little background on Robinson. Coming from Cleveland State, he'd had 3 20-plus win seasons at Cleveland State. He's more of a defensive-minded mentality of a coach. Of course, every coach has their philosophies. Like Eric Morris, just a guru. Air raid, and just offensive a quarterback guru. Robinson's a little more defensive-minded, and his team performance has backed it up. Over at Cleveland State, obviously, today's day and age of college basketball, points are up across the board. It's more of a run and gun offense. It's just they pile up quickly. While in the Horizon League, his squad allowed the fewest points last year at 66.5.
That's right. I remember that.
Over the last 3 years, his team was allowing about 69 a game. But over there at Cleveland State, the culture he had built, they were annually one of the best defensive teams in that conference. And even nationally, they ranked decent.
It's kind of a lot similar to the philosophy that Ross Hodge had as well. He's also a very defensive-minded coach. Super energetic on the sidelines. Ross Hodge was just a fun guy. Did you go to basketball games, Wilson?
I haven't gone to a basketball game yet, no.
Oh, man. Dude, you missed the Ross Hodge era?
Yeah.
No!
I only started going to the football games this past season.
That's so sad.
I know.
Hey, well, you picked a good time to start going. Ross Hodge was such a fun guy. He was super interactive with the fans, but when he get mad, he would get so mad. He'd like slam the floor and like crouch and yell at his players. Super great coach. Definitely deserved to go to West Virginia. And looking like Daniel Robinson is going to be a really good replacement for that. Great, similar type of schemes. Very different personality-wise, though. Robinson's he's a very chill guy. Like in all these videos I see of him, he's always smiling. Like very opposite of what Hodge was. But it'll be fun to watch him.
Absolutely. And Robinson inherits a program that has had some success in recent years. The last 5 years, UNT basketball has made the postseason. Of course, 5 years ago, the March Madness appearance, beating Purdue in the 2021 season. In the last 3 years, actually take back 4 years, NIT appearances. You have that NIT championship in there in 23. And then Yeah, last year made a deep run. Fell short to UC Irvine by 2 points in the NIT semifinal, but he's coming into a program that has aspirations of a March Madness bid.
Yeah, and obviously the goal is you don't want to make an NIT every year, just like if you're in football, you don't want to make a bowl game every year. But you have Robinson. You probably locked him up for a good amount of time. Hopefully, he can stay here for a good while, and he's already building. Hope he can build a program that, like you said, gets to that March Madness game. So it'll be the Daniel Rob. Did I say Daniel? I'm so sorry. The Daniel Robinson era is officially starting, and it's going to be very fun to watch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about a lot today. Is it under an hour? Impressive. It is. Holy moly. Great. We covered a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. Thank you guys for tuning in this episode. Dante and Wilson, thank you guys for joining me today. I had a great time.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Men's and women's basketball both starting. It's going to be fun. All these other fall sports wrapping up, and we'll come out with some more episodes as those continue on. For now, this is the end of the episode 8 of the Daily Sports Pro Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.